We just got one of the best pieces of news we've ever gotten in the history of the digital asset space, and I want to discuss exactly what that means for digital asset investors. If you have a loved one out there that you care about that is yet to get in this space, this would be the video to share with them, because I want to talk to you about how, as we are just days away from ISO 20022 implementation to go live globally, we're moving out of a hype stage, out of speculation, into a world of adoption of this technology. If you do like talking about Ripple and XRP, type an X in the comment section, smash that like button, and let's get into it real quickly. For those who are unfamiliar with who I am and the channel, my name is Jake Molter. I've been investing well over a decade now, starting in the stock market as a fundamental investor. Now, I took some of the fundamental strategies that I gathered from being in the stock market for years and brought them with me in 2019 into the digital asset space. And being a little bit leery of this space at first, and thinking, as many do before they actually go in and doing their due diligence and research and understanding the technology and what is coming in this shift in finance, I was a little leery of getting into digital assets. But I knew right away I was staying away from meme coins. I was staying away from anything with no utility, no use case. I found XRP, XLM, HBAR, Quant, Algorand, cryptocurrencies with real utility and real use cases, but I really gravitated to XRP because I believe it is the winning horse in this space. And in this video, we're going to talk to you about why and what is coming. Now, the crypto space itself is maturing greatly, and we see that with the interest from the institutions right now, more so than we've ever seen in history. And just here today, crypto exchange Kraken, which is a huge exchange, filed for a US IPO. We're seeing this among many institutions out there right now looking at filing IPOs. We also saw here today that the SEC has officially approved NYSE ARCA, New York Stock Exchange ARCA, to list the Bitwise 10 crypto index ETF. This product tracks the Bitwise 10 NDX. And guys, we just recently heard from Bitwise CIO talking about how 2026, we're going to see over 100 of these products go live. And so, yes, now is the time to get in. But ultimately, what we have to understand, and what Ripple's been doing for over a decade, and putting the pieces together, laying the infrastructure, working with central banks, the biggest banks in the world, has made it very clear that as we see the rollout of regulations, as we see ISO 20022 going live, the XRP is going to be the most dominant player, and trillions will flow on chain, rising the price of XRP dramatically. So if you're watching this video and you have yet to get into digital assets, you're not yet late, but I would say you're right on time, because things are about to go live with regulations, and we're going to talk to you about that in just a moment. But on the 22nd, which is just days away from the recording of this video, November 22nd, we're going to go ahead and see ISO 20022 go live globally. Now, as Bob Way, who is a former Ripple employee, noted in an article that just recently surfaced about the ISO 20022 migration and boosting integration efforts, he wrote, quote, ISO 20022 is way bigger than you might think at first. This transition is extremely helpful to Ripple's bank sales team. This means that every single bank is required to implement new technology, making it easier for Ripple to integrate their software with the banks. And that is just the case. That is just the situation we have been in, which is these banks, these big banks that have been doing trials and have been doing testing for many years now, have not been able to go in on this space in a big way because of regulations, because of compliance, and because of many of the issues you find when you are converting an entire financial system. And so, as Eleanor Terrett put out this, on top of some news that came in just yesterday from OCC, she writes, it was only 2 years ago that regulators warned banks that directly issuing are directly issuing or holding crypto assets on public or decentralized networks was, quote, highly likely to be inconsistent with safe and sound banking practices. So much is changing. So much is changing indeed. As just yesterday, the OCC, which is the Office of Controller of Currency, confirmed that permissible bank activities related to paying crypto asset networks, sometimes referred to as gas fees, that has been officially confirmed as being permissible. And I wrote just under there, as the saying goes, the days feel like forever and the years fly by. So much to appreciate and how far we've come. And it is kind of crazy if you're an OG in this space, you've been around for a while, to take a look, take a step back and how far we have come. As an investor in investing, it does require patience, and it takes a long time to see a complete shift in finance for obvious reasons. The infrastructure has been being built out for years. The relationships with the central banks, the big banks, the financial service providers, those big financial institutions, the connections being laid out for a long time now. It takes a lot of time, but we are finally dotting the I's and crossing the T's. As this article came out, U.S. banks cleared to hold crypto for the first time. This is absolutely a very, very big deal. For the first time in U.S. financial history, digital assets are officially being treated as something banks can actually use, not just observe on the sidelines. Now, what are banks going to actually hold? They can hold Bitcoin. They're not going to be able to utilize it for use cases like XRP because the network simply flat out cannot do what the XRPL can do. When we talk about 3 to 5 second finality time, settlements happening in real time, lightning speed for this network, the XRPL, with XRP being that native digital asset on it. But banks will be able to hold Ethereum, Solana, and XRP directly for operational use, including paying blockchain fees. The ruling removes the need for third-party intermediaries, allowing banks to interact with decentralized networks themselves. Regulators, they write, are shifting towards integrating blockchain into traditional finance rather than restricting it. Now, this is all very interesting. As we're starting to see Wall Street go in on XRP, we're starting to see all these ETFs, which is exchange traded funds, going live, utilizing XRP as the underlying asset for the spots, the 100% spot XRP ETFs. We're starting to see inflows come in on some of the early adopters of these ETFs. We're about to see some of the biggest institutions in the world roll out, the likes of Franklin Templeton, Grayscale, and others with their XRP ETFs. We have to understand also Ripple applied to become a federally regulated U.S. bank on July of this year, July 2nd, 2025. If approved, the new Ripple National Trust Bank would offer services like crypto custody, stablecoin reserve management, and blockchain payments. The official review started on October 23rd, which usually takes 30 to 90 days. So a decision is expected anytime from late November, which we are getting very close to early 2026. As of November 19th, there's yet to have any approval just yet here today, but the XRP community is on pins and needles and understanding how big this is. And the timing here is very, very interesting, isn't it? As we are seeing these XRP ETFs go live, we're seeing ISO 20022 about to go live, and things are heating up in terms of Trump talking about a new Federal Reserve chair being announced before Christmas. We also have Senator Tim Scott here today saying Senate could move on a crypto market structure bill in December. And all of this together leads me to the final point here, guys. If you are someone that is yet in this digital asset space, I would spend some time looking at what Ripple's been doing with the likes of Santander, PNC, SBI Holdings. Standard Chartered, Bank of America, American Express, and others. These are all household names. And when these household names start putting out statements and you see the headlines all over CNBC about the actual implementation of XRP and utilizing the network, the XRPL, which they've been utilizing in terms of trials, testing, pilots for many, many years, but they actually start going all in on the technology, which brings in more institutional FOMO and understanding this shift, which then brings more retail FOMO in. You don't want to be in when the fireworks are hitting 100, 200, 300% in a single day. You want to be in before those gains start happening because you're going to miss out on the biggest opportunity. It's going to be too late because at that point in time, when we start seeing these headlines, the price is going to move so quickly. Most in the retail crowd, I believe, are not going to be able to grab XRP at cheap prices, the likes of where we're at right now. If we take a look at the price of XRP right now, sitting at $2.12, we have to understand with implementation, adoption of XRP, and actually being put in place, when you hear the flip of the switch moment, what these folks are talking about when you hear the flip of the switch moment is a repricing of XRP to happen very, very quickly, the likes of which it's going to be nearly impossible to get XRP, I believe, in single digits, even double digits, once we start to see those fireworks take off. And so I just want to put out my thoughts, my opinions on everything that's going on. Very interesting as we are seeing everything lined up right now here at the end of this year, 2025, with regulation on the horizon. I have to understand all the pieces are fitting. All the pieces are fitting perfectly, and time is ticking. Time is running out. But right now, I believe is a perfect time for someone to take a look at XRP, and do their research, do their due diligence deeply, and understand where this is all going. Those are my thoughts, my opinions. Let me know yours in the comment section below. If you already hold XRP and other digital assets and you want to feel safe and sleep well at night with having institutional grade custody, I'll leave a link below. You get $100 free on sign up to I Trust Capital, official partner of this channel, and we will see you all in the next one.